All right.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review for Vikings Season 5, Episode 7, Full Moon. That's something that Joe and I have done many times, driving around in cars and sticking out our butts. The half Monties or half moon Monties, full side butthole Monties. But here we are tonight to talk about this episode of Vikings. This might be a little quicker than our normal recap and review podcasts, but we're really excited to be out here and talk about another episode of Vikings. I've been doing more live reactions, or I did a short video as well, but it's great to have Joe back in here. And thank you to anyone who pops on in throughout the evening, checks us out live. If you have any thoughts on this episode of Vikings or this season just in general, please let us know in the comment section or in the live. Whoa, here we go. The live motherfucking chat, which is with us tonight as well. So, Joe, I haven't talked to you in a couple of episodes, but in general, how are you feeling this season of Vikings?
So there's a lot of things I like about it. And then there's three things I don't like about it. So things I like about it. I like what Bjorn's been up to. I love what Floki was doing for the first few episodes of the season. I love the fine hairs. Things I don't like.
Ivar, you don't like? Is that
here's the thing. I think Ivar.
Get into this. Should we get this over with right now? Defending Ivar and you hating on him.
Yeah, let's get this over with because it's not really that big of a deal. I really like the acting the kid's doing, but I think he's poorly. I think all three kids were very poorly cast for this show. 4 kids, if you include the dead one. I have a tough time feeling like all these big like warrior people are going to listen to any of these 3 kids, anything out of their mouths. They have zero charisma as far as I'm concerned. But like I said, I don't have a problem with Ivar's acting. I just don't think this is the role for him. The one young actor, I guess, introduced over the last season or so, 2 seasons, is that I don't have a problem with is Applesauce's son.
Yeah, Alfred.
I really like what he's done. I like I said, I have no problem with the acting from at least Ivar. But the other 2 kids,
you're not feeling it. We were talking about this a little bit before we started the show. Not meaning to not get into the episode at first, but I'm continuing a conversation. We started to have a conversation. I said, "Fuck it, we're just gonna hit record." Or live stream, whatever.
Yeah.
That I think both Joe and I think that the show is really at an excellent point right now and are enjoying the episodes. And we're going to get into this episode, which was another awesome episode of Vikings that I really did enjoy. It was one of those slow episodes that I felt like this season needed because at the beginning it was moving at a really brisk pace, and now we're heading towards this middle Civil War, and I like that we kind of dug in and saw what was going on in Kattegat. I like all the scenes that we had in general, but I think the main difference Joe and I are having right now as both being fans of the series is I am totally feeling Ivar. I think that's perfect casting. I think especially when he's doing the crazy stuff, he hits a home run on it. Ubi, I'm pretty much feeling him 9 out of 10 times. There's one couple scenes here and there I didn't. Hitzark, I agree with you. I'm not really feeling him, and Kid That Died, I'm not feeling him. But for the most part, Ivar is almost carrying the show for me to a certain extent.
See, and I can't. He doesn't carry this. What they fucked up with Ivar is his acting is good, but they in a lot of respect they're guilty of the same shit that Walking Dead is with Negan. They're spending too much time trying to make him crazy and scary and this character rather than showing us why he would be feared, showing us that he has allies of tribesmen and chieftains and others. Like, as far as I'm concerned, they haven't shown us anyone that would be willing to protect Ivar or even stand up and fight for him to be king back at Kattegat or to kill Lagatha. Like, there's zero. What's to stop anybody from just turning around and killing Ivar? It's almost like there was a couple times they tried to show he had bodyguards or he had people in a hall when he was go woof 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 to the little brother there, but no one that has any other say, no one that has any other input and strategy and planning, nobody that sits around him that he bounces stuff off, that bounces stuff back to him. and we don't see him reading any books, so he mentions the Romans left us lots to talk about. Like, I don't understand where this vast knowledge of military shit comes from him.
I think
I don't understand any of that part of this character, which is what
I did like in this episode, though, to get to kind of wind this into this episode. I like that how we saw from the bishop's perspective in this episode that Ivar was finally showing some inexperience in this episode by at least apparently trusting the bishop, I think, a little bit too far, and that the bishop's kind of letting him pull the string a little bit and playing to some of Ivar's immaturity and his emotion. And I don't know if it's part of Ivar's plan and that's going to come up. It's a flip around, a turnaround, the double cross. But I do like how they're showing some of where maybe Hitzark has some smarts that Ivar doesn't quite grasp, because Ivar is all all push, all rage and stuff. So it is going to be interesting to explore. Yeah. I definitely credit your points. I don't want to bemuse that, because I know there is a general divide amongst people that are way into Vikings right now. There are some people, and I'm not saying you're one of these people, Joe, but like that, and I see it in forums and stuff like that, where some people are having a tough time with the show right now.
Katie Crow can barely watch the show.
Right.
Like, and she sits there and she talks. When she sits next to me, she sounds like she's watching The Walking Dead. Like, I'm not
very fair. And I know, like, it's when it's almost, again, like you could view it as it being in a relationship with someone. You're in a relationship with the show. Once the bloom is off the rose or whatever, you can start looking at whatever problems. You could rip apart any awesome band that you love. Any show that you love is easy to pick apart if you have a sort of attitude to do it. And it's not a negative thing about the person doing that. Everybody does that. It's easy to pick something apart. And that's not to say, because nothing is perfect, especially not any form of entertainment.
Game of Thrones first 4 seasons.
No, hey, I don't want to talk about that. We're not talking. Let's take Breaking Bad.
Sorry. Better Call Saul.
Don't trigger me. Don't start talking about Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad or anything. Okay, so let's jump in the live motherfucking chat. Phil, I'm gonna be up live streaming. Oh, awesome, dude, Mike. Everyone, check out Mike in the live chat. New York says, I think Ivar's best when he's being thoughtful and philosophical. You got a lot of that in this episode. We'll explore that a little bit. Hannibal says, I know nothing but the king of the North, motherfucking East, motherfucker. M says, I love Ivar more and more. He's the perfect replacement for Ragnar. I don't know if he's what I get with Ivar is he is a part of, and I've talked about this a lot this season, a part of Ragnar's personality. And again, I've used this descriptive thing before to explain this, but it's like the Death of Superman comic when Superman got broken apart and then he's in it sucks, dude. I don't want to talk about the comic.
The kid, the woman.
Yeah, and then there's the 3 different kids and they all have the different powers of Superman, but they're not as good as the big guy. I think that's what they're trying to depict on the show with the brothers. Not so much Bjorn, because his story is completely different. And I do want to get...
But why would any of them have any personality from Ragnar? In the personality development years, he was gone. Like from 8 to 18, or like he was gone for 10 plus years, plus all the time he was out freaking fighting in other countries. Like, he was almost never around. So for them to have like these distinct Ragnar personality types, it's very like, is it nature? Is it nurture? And they decided, okay, it's nature. He's got Ragnar blood, so this one will be this part of Ragnar. This one will be this part. And it's a little cliche. It's a little TV tropey.
He's got that powerful Skywalker blood, man. I heard Mike. Oh, awesome, dude. So definitely check out Mike and Phil. So let's go over here and let's not waste any more time as we get into this episode, because I do want to get right into this, and I also want to get to talk about one little minor gripe that I might have, and someone pointed this out in the comment section, and it's just I don't know what direction they're going to go with this, and I kind of hoped for a little something more, but let's get into this. Okay, recap time.
I barely got in any headbang.
I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry. We're on a time clock tonight. So the episode starts up at the full moon. I kind of like they use this device throughout the episode with the full moon and Ivar saying, when the moon's full again, we shall battle. I almost think similar to Game of Thrones season 1 with looking at the moon. They probably should have done it even more, where we saw the moon, I think, like 3 times during the episode. I could have seen the moon a couple more times to show the passage of time, because they very rarely give us anything, any indication, thank you, Joe, of any ability to tell time on Vikings. Yep. And I love Vikings for it, because sometimes it serves to their advantage. Sometimes I was going to sound wicked Boston. Sometimes you're wicked into something, dude. And they just jump in time and you're like, oh, what? I wanted to see a conclusion to that. Oh, we have to hear it in dialogue. Sometimes they do that, but I think for the most part, it serves them really well. And I feel like seeing some way of telling time that this is all going on within a 30-day period of time or whatever it is. I don't know my moon.
I thought it was two moon time. They were attacking.
Okay, it's 2 moons. I thought she said the next full moon he attacks or something like that.
Oh, maybe she said that, but it was last episode. It was in 2 full moons.
Right. So by that definition, it seems like each episode is a moon now. So we're getting.
Okay, so she got the message then. The rape messenger got through.
Yeah. The rape messenger train came through. K Rich, hey, yeah, I love the build. Sorry, but no action junkie here tonight. And I agree, K Rich. This was a great build episode. That's 2 months. So it was like 2 months. That's the 2 moons.
Yeah, I definitely don't mind build episodes. I don't mind them putting together the story. And you often hear me say, that's what I want. When I'm sitting here complaining that we don't get enough Ivar with chieftains talking about, strategy or anything else, like why? I'm going to leave it alone. Sorry. Okay. I expressed that.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine.
So, yeah, I love building episodes. This episode wasn't boring to me. It had a lot of meat in it, and there was a lot of good stuff talked about. There was that with Lagertha. And
usually in these type of episodes, Joe, I'll say, oh, it was a great character building episode. This had some character building stuff, but this was a good story building episode.
Correct.
It didn't just build up character profiles and stuff. Some of the character stuff that they did in this, I could have done without, with Ubi's wife there, and she needs to die quickly. And in some of the character stuff, I just didn't dig, but the story, the way they added to the story elements, I liked all of that. So what I didn't necessarily love was how quickly they wrapped up Bjorn's story. I hope, and I just don't know, I hope he goes back there. If that was all of his whole fantastic journey is just him going to the desert, I thought he went more of the Mediterranean. I thought he went further out in some of the tales of what Bjorn is.
And apparently they were already there.
Yeah, it seemed like it was just a little yada yada. And I wish they dug in. I wish Bjorn was away for the whole season, and this whole season. And maybe he'll go back out there after this war is done. They just wanted all their main players there for the big battle, so they brought him back. But I just expected him to be out there longer, not just a trip to the desert and back.
See, this is where I wish Vikings kind of used to do it a little bit more. They would give us big blocks and big chunks of an episode. Like it would be, maybe you got 5 minutes at the beginning somewhere else and 5 minutes at the end, like, somewhere in England, but you would have like a big chunk of time spent with King Alfred or whatever. I wish they would just give us those like Walking Dead style focus episodes and give us 2 episodes where we don't see anything, like, or 1 episode where we don't see anything but Bjorn in the middle Mediterranean. We don't see anything for the whole episode but Floki.
I don't want to bite us asses on both ends, because I think sometimes when they did that a few seasons ago, we wanted more action. But that was because they stayed away from the Vikings. I think there should always be a Vikings focus on Vikings. And I think a few seasons ago, as interesting as the Wessex stuff was, why I complained about it, was there was too much solid Wessex with not enough interruptions of interesting new Vikings characters that we met along the way. And I think that should be a constant. That I agree that we should have focus episodes, especially with how interesting I think all of these storylines that we have right now are, where we have at least one episode that's Floki and Bjorn. Just those 2 storylines bouncing back and forth. One storyline that's the Kattegat setup. I mean, but this is all
because you got 2 months to wait. We got 2 moons for the attack. We know that that's what the plan is. What else do we need from fucking Ivar and Fine Hair at this point? Nothing.
Yeah.
Until they attack.
They're on their way. They're twirling their mustaches, hanging out, going on their fine hair. We'll get to this later, but who was so cute when he found out he was going to be a daddy. I want to hug that guy. Oh my goodness, he seems
to be a good guy for a murderous berserker,
kidnapping, for murdering, kidnapping. I think I wrote my notes. He's the happiest kidnapping forced father ever. I mean, he's
right.
So excited. Like, I feel so happy for that guy. And K-Rich says, I think he found the kingdom of Sicily. Yeah, Ubi's wife has to go. K-Rich has to go. Okay. So we open up in a full moon. Ivar says some poetry. He says he picks out his poetry book and says some poetry. And he says, when we see a full moon, but ultimately when we see a full moon, we shall battle. And he checks out the bishop, and we get a close-up of the bishop's face, and he's purdy and he's done. So then we go back to Bjorn coming back from his adventure with Halfdan, talking about how it's home, but Bjorn doesn't love Torvi anymore because, I'm sick of making that work. And Halfdan says what you deserve is never in balance. God hates being fair. Fine, fair. No, I'm sorry. That's horrible. And then Bjorn looks to Kattegat, and it's bye-bye. So then he says he's back. It's cheers from everyone. His kids are there. He pushes Torvi to the side, like literally takes her, throws her face in the mud, climbs over her to pick up his young Lannister child, and picks up little Tommen Baratheon.
Well, he had a little experience, didn't he? Have like a hermaphrodite or
Halfdan did.
No, I think they both did.
No. I think Bjorn's was a girl.
No. Because when he goes, this one's for you and this one's for you, and Finehair was all like, mine had a dick, and Bjorn was like, oh, so you didn't? You had a problem with that? I think they both were given.
Oh, okay. See, I read that scene differently, but very possible.
Finehair didn't. Because he was like, wait, you had a problem with that? What's the problem here?
Yeah, we all know Bjorn's earliest memories is watching being Eugene in the corner, watching his mom and applesauce and Ragnar having some fun. He's an open kid. He's definitely open.
I think they both had transsexuals, not hermaphrodites. Sorry, transsexuals, transvestites, whatever the hell they had. I think they were both given the same thing, and Bjorn went yay, and Finehair went not really into that.
So Harold, the biological daddy Harold, we'll examine that as we get later in that in the episode. Karen says Bjorn was in the desert on a camel with two other guys. Then
that sounds even worse.
On sailing into Kattegat. Yeah, K-Rich, that sounds dirty.
Hey, who's not going to have a little bit of a blue ball after watching all that camel toe in front of you?
Bjorn shits all over Torvi all the time, raising a kid who was convinced by running a train. Oh, was that actress played by Jamie Lee Curtis? Hannibal wants to know. Oh. As Joe said, hermaphrodite. So we go back. We get cheers from everyone. He's, like I said, he steps over Torvi to get his kids. He picks up his kid with this blonde child that, I'm joking about it, but totally looks like a Lannister child. Should have been what Tommen looks like. So we go off to an amazing water, and Floki's people being like the Smurfs asking Papa Smurf if they're there yet. Floki, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Floki, are we there yet? And Floki, why aren't you talking to us? And he's just like, because you can't understand me. You're like in honor of one of Joe and I's deceased friends. Like you're totally not on our level, dude. Like you're on one level, Jen. You're on one level. I'm on one level. We gotta get on the same level, dude. So lots of love to Jen. So shut the fuck up. You don't understand. So next we see Bjorn, who's greeted in the big hall by his mom, who's excited to have him here for the battle. Lagertha says, doesn't waste any time. He goes, Bjorn, great to have you home. Now we're going to be attacked in the next full moon. We hired these Savis people to help fill up our numbers. And Bjorn goes over there and talks to the dude's daughter. And he looks at the princess and says, listen, we're going to have sex soon. The princess says, yeah, I think so. I think we're going to have sex soon. And Torvi goes, the fuck.
Yeah. I just love how there was this big deal made out of Floki taking a bunch of warriors from her, from Lagertha, from Kattegat, and it's like 20 people.
Yeah, not that many people.
Right?
And they seem like really like Lagertha's probably better off
That's what I was thinking. And she's got all these new people coming down now. She pimped out her son once again. Like,
I see Fury says Floki's going to get voted off the island. Yeah, Jeff Probst is going to read his vote in a second. K Rich read the scene a little bit more like I did and said, I don't think Joe was right about the two trans things.
I think we should all watch it again with
the European version. More,
yeah. Yeah, there you go. So, it probably definitely lets you know in the European version.
Yeah, we'll have to find out about that later. We'll ask if we ever get a chance to interview anyone from the show. We'll ask them that. So we'll put that on the list. Add it to the list. Okay, Phil. So next,
when we call AMC after the next one.
Exactly. We'll call AMC, even though it's on the History Channel. We'll still just ask AMC. Oh, by the way, we have a question about Vikings. So Bjorn's greeted in the big hall by his mom, excited to have him home. Bjorn says he's gonna have sex. Torby's like, "You're fucking keep walking on me." Then Lagatha says, "Halfdan, what'd you see in the desert?" We cut from scene to scene, and he says, "I didn't see anything. All you saw was desert." Or
I saw a girl, and she had a dick.
And you can see nothing at most. Bjorn asks, "What's the fuck's up with Ubi? Why hate Ivar?" And Ubi says, "Dude, it's Ivar. What do you mean? Why do I have a falling out with Ivar? It's fucking Ivar." And then Ubi's girl chimes in, and they have this kind of a talk about Ragnar's legacy and who's going to carry on Ragnar's legacy and yada yada yada.
And listen, bitch, your son is like not gonna. Your husband's not gonna. No, it goes to Bjorn if Lagatha dies, right? And then you're much crazier, much stronger, much more allied brother is going to slaughter you.
Yeah, absolutely. So then Lagatha asks Halfdan where his alliance it lies, and he says, "I'm with Bjorn. He saved my life. Nothing will make me change my mind." Do you think Halfdan will really support Lagatha and Bjorn in the situation, or is he going to go back to his brother?
No, absolutely not. It's a double cross.
Right. It's the double cross.
I went with Bjorn to go find fame and glory, not because I don't love you anymore, brother. Not because you're still not my number one ally. Not because you're not my king too. You know, when it's all said and done, right? Like,
no, I agree with you. I sense the double cross coming as well. She says, "Your brother said the same shit to me, and he lied to me. How do I know anything? I'm not buying what you're saying, asshole." He says, "Listen, Bjorn, do you think I'm lying?" And Bjorn says, "I believe him." and okay, I guess that's good enough. So, excuse me. Ubi's wife gives Lagatha some stink eye in this moment. And K-Rich says every group's going to betray everybody else. Bjorn brings in a gift to his stepson, and they talk about eating a guy. And they just calmly like, "Yeah, we ate a guy. Yeah, this is from a dude that we ate, and we didn't know we were eating him, but yeah, we totally did eat him." And Lagatha laughs at the joy that her son.
I guess if you were going to eat people like for the first time, you would want it to be like done by an Italian cook, right? Yeah. Or they left Sicily, didn't they? They left Sicily and went to Africa.
But you need garlic. You need a good vino in there. You need some gabagool, some, you need some manicotti. I'll cook for you. I make a really good stuffed shell.
I think you could make the gabagool out of like the ass cheek or something.
You could.
You don't even need gabagool. You just make your own gabagool out of the. Person.
That's a different kind of gabagool, Joe.
Gabagool.
Gabagool. Yeah, that's gabagool. In salami form. No, wait. Halfdan, I see Fury. Halfdan told Harold that he would always cover for him, and I do think he always will.
I do too.
So then we go to Floki getting to a marshy area, and he says, "Look, this is where the house is." And they're like, "Listen," they're like, "Floki, there's no fucking houses here." And because throughout the episode, we hear all the Alcerans talking. Blah, blah, blah. I can't wait till we find the village with the god's house. They're gonna be hanging out there, sitting down, playing checkers and hopscotch and watching.
Not a single fucking tree on this island. Not a single fucking shrub. Not a single. I think maybe I don't even think I've seen a bird flying. Like these people are fucked.
And
straight fucked.
And he comes back, and he's right as Floki is kind of talking or figuring stuff out, a geyser flies out, and a woman, almost like one of the Simpsons or South Park crowd freaking out. People, will someone think of the children? This woman starts yelling, "Oh my God, this place is evil! Oh shit! Oh, kill this place!" And then this other
that place, Phil, I happen to know it. That woman isn't lying. That place is evil.
Is evil.
You do not want to live. Do you think this place is evil? That place is like 100 times worse than this place.
So someone else says, "No, dude, we can like see that water. It's hot, dude. We can take baths and shit, and we can make bread there and have fun." Do you not like bread, Joe? What are you like? You're not like Oprah. I love bread. I love bread. I want bread. And
not enough to be fucking there, that's for sure.
No chewed balls. But Hannibal said you throw in some meatballs and some sausages, maybe a bit of sugar, some wine. That's how you do it, kid.
Yeah.
You prepare the fucking testicles. So no, I want some bread, and the idiots go, "Oh, we want bread. Let's get some bread." And they all like cycle in to get some bread, except one dude that's just sitting there going, "No, man, Floki sucks." So we see the moon again to show the clock ticking to the battle, and I like that, as I mentioned earlier. Bjorn check.
Use a razor blade to cut your garlic nice and fine.
Oh, nice and fine. Just, yeah, like Polly teaches you that. And if Goodfellas is more of an educational flick than anything else. Right? It really is. So Bjorn checks out his daughter. And Torvi says, "Listen, Bjorn, I know you don't love me." He's like, yeah, you should have known that a while ago. Well, what are you still doing here? But the kids, and I'll always take care of you and the kids, whatever. And take this gift of someone else I ate. This is from my hooker. So here, take this. And she says, "No, give it to your new girl." And she says, and he says, "No, this one's for you. This is a gift I make for you." Scalisi. And he gives it to her. It's a very cordial goodbye. And he's like, "Done with that. It's okay. I'm totally done with that. Yeah. I'm off the hook, and I totally did the right thing. I broke up with her. It's like breaking up with your wife in the bathroom before you have sex with a prostitute." So he did it. He's like, "Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm done. Here we go." And so Bjorn immediately walks over to his mother, and he says, "That girl over there, I want her. Go tell Dad I'm taking her." And Lagatha's like, "What? What about Torvi?" "Yeah, I'm done with that."
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, go hook me up. Go pimp me out. So we cut to commercial with Lagatha going in, pimping out his son for some fun. But it's a lot more on the level, as we find out later. It's a lot more of a serious situation. We're gonna get into marriage and stuff. Here we go. Phil's Wrestling Kingdom review live. We're waiting 3 hours from now. Get on it, Philly. Clemenza, Hannibal Kingdom, buy a condo in Floki's Island. Oh my goodness. Okay, so she heads out crying, and Lagatha is like, "What'd you do, douche?" And Torvi is crying, and Ubi comes to comfort her, and she understands, and it wasn't my fate at all to be happy with Bjorn. And Torvi doesn't blame Bjorn. It's, I got my kids, and Ubi's trying to make her feel better, and he hugs her, and he eventually just goes in and gets the kiss, and she makes out with him for a second, and then goes, "I better walk away," and walks away.
No luck with men.
And at the same time, I forget her name, but Ubi's wife is watching the whole situation from behind, kind of snarling.
Ubi Doobie.
Yeah, Ubi Doobie's putting over there. Ivar's famous clam chowder, dude. Ivar's famous clam chowder. They got the clams and cockles. So she asks him if he we get Bjorn, Ubi and his wife, and she asks him if he loves Torvi, and he says, "No, I just felt sorry for her." And she said, "You don't kiss people." But we got to learn who we're fighting. And again, it just serves as more Lagatha bashing. Listen, now, what if, Joe? What if I killed Katie, and then you killed Stephanie, and we got married, and then we could live in a kingdom of happiness for forever and play shoots and ladders and eat spaghetti every day? Wouldn't it be wonderful?
Yeah.
It would be. Yeah, it would be wonderful. But no. No, but she's like, what if Bjorn died and you ran away from the battle and then you waited till Lagertha died too and then you came back in, you'd totally be king and then I'd totally be queen.
Only problem is there would still be fuckface there with an entire army.
You just hide from him. He's gonna let you be king because he's the older son. He's gonna be like, Ubi, you could totally be king. You're my older brother. That's fine. But no, she needs to die now. Yeah. I mean,
she was a slave girl, but now she has ambition.
Now she needs to die. I've never seen a character death more. Maybe I could be wrong, and next season we could still be talking about her. But her death is so projected.
It's tasteable. It's palpable.
Yeah, you could just feel it. Yeah, it's like
it's electric.
Boogie woogie woogie woogie. I was gonna say it's like a certain little guy that you knew was coming on a certain other show with wolves and dragons. I don't want to talk about spoilers, but you're like, that little guy's getting it sometime. You know that little guy, little shit. So, anyways, she's got to go, as K-Ridge says. So more talk. Can she die already? As Ubi says, don't fight Ivar, let them win. No. So Lagertha and Bjorn have a really awesome scene. One of my favorite scenes of the episode where Lagertha says she misses Ragnar even now. She remembers when they were farmers. And Bjorn says, you've come a long way since then. And she mentions she wants to go back to the simple life. And she's feeling very defeated in her tone. And Bjorn says, listen, that's not the Lagertha I know. Don't think about the past. Always push forward. Fuck that shit. And Lagertha misses Astrid too. She thinks things are over too soon. Bjorn says, perk up. So time for a romantic game of chess or whatever game they were playing between two soulmates as the Bishop and Ivar are playing chess. And I don't even want to go through every one of their scenes because it's a lot of the same.
It's the same over and over again. You're defiant and I'm crazy. You're defiant.
Let's do it, Joe. Joe, will you fight for me?
No, you heathen fuck.
But you need to fight for me because I will kill, because then you get to kill heathen.
Okay, I'll fight for it. No, I won't fight for it.
Yes, you will fight for me because you'll taste the blood and love the day.
Okay. I'll fight for you, but I still don't like you. And you're a godless heathen.
What do you think of my plan? I'm just going to kind of charge in there with all of our men and try to kill them all.
Oh, wonderful. Go for it. Do it. Yeah.
But well, you're a strategy guy. Why don't you strategize my plan?
Yeah, God likes it.
Okay, let's do this. High five. There we go. So that's basically all of their scenes. Two great actors, in my mind, doing some really good work. I like watching these two interact, but ultimately a lot of their scenes, for me, amount to talking about the same thing, and they have this weird bromance thing going on that I don't mind. It's palpable. You can see it, especially at the end of the episode. It really looked like they were about to embrace for some hot, like they're going to have some post-battle coitus action going on between these two.
See, I liked the scene last week with the bishop in him, and he kind of opens up to the bishop. I'm scared or whatever. I don't even know what he said at this point, but I like that. Ivar kind of let it out a little, had a little bit of a human moment, but then back to this week of the menacing and the defiance and everything. And I'm just thinking, like, it all reeked to me. And I know I've said this kind of once before. I've drawn a couple of parallels to it now. It just felt like Negan-ish Walking Dead shit that I'm so sick of watching over there that when I'm reminded of it here, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth a little bit. It's uninteresting.
Fair. The baggage carries over sometimes. It happens. It does happen.
And neither one of these two guys is great enough of an actor, and there's just something off-putting about it. I don't know.
Okay, so it's fair enough. Like I said, I'm feeling it a little bit more, although the repetition of it is kind of getting to me on that end. I don't mind. I like the scenes. I like them all, but I think we're kind of going through the same motion. It ultimately to lead to the point where he is going to be do the strategy for him. On how they attack. And I did like Hitzak in this episode and poking his voice in conversations between them and not just being a blop on the wall. Joe, go, as I'm running quickly to the other room.
What I find to be strange about it, and I wanted to actually get Phil's view on this too, is like, you have a period of time after the Battle of York where you have captured this bishop before you set sail back to Kattegat. Then you have a period of time, or not Kattegat ends up being you going back to the Fine Hair shore. And then you have a period of time on the boat where you have him captive as well. So you had the period of time in Kattegat, in York, where you have the bishop. Then you have the whole entire fucking boat ride over to Fine Hair's kingdom. Then you have the entire 2 months at Fine Hair's kingdom. Then you're going to have even more time traveling back to Kattegat. But so you know you've been at least 3, 4, maybe 5 months as captive to Ivar, and they're still having this conversation. Like most people, yes, okay, he's a strong warrior bishop, would have been broken by now, but there's been a long passage of time where a lot of these conversations would have happened already, unless he's just completely ignoring this bishop and letting him walk around and do whatever. In which case, that's a little strange too. It just doesn't seem right where we've had 3 or 4 months of time pass where these two have been in each other's presence, and we're still having this conversation like they met a week ago.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of will Rocky fight the fight or will he not fight the fight? It's a lot of lead up, and again, I think where we differ on it is our impressions or how we are into the particular acting performances. But
I just think it's been 5 months. It had a month in York after the attack, a month or two on the boat going back to Fine Hair, 2 months preparation time. That's 4 months that they're going to be that they've been together at the very least. These conversations have had to have happened to a great extent. They don't have TV, they don't have internet, they don't have phones and games to play on their phone. They have nothing to do but talk, tell stories, drink, eat, and fuck. Like, Ivar's obviously not out fucking farming. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, they don't show him reading anything, but yet he has knowledge of this stuff, and he just keeps going to have these philosophical conversations, walking around in circles, what, for 5 fucking months with this bishop? Neither one of them budged a bit, and he just comes back to, I guess I'm just going to have to threaten this guy's life again before I walk out of the room. Ha! If you want to have the passage of time, have the characters have grown off fucking screen too sometimes.
Fair. Joe Ducronk says Ivar really respects the bishop. Ivar and the bishop are playing a dark mirror version of Ragnar and applesauce. They need to cast Walking David. Hey, Walking David, love you, buddy. They showed us the bishop has a weakness, pawn to bishop 3 bishop. So Bishop says we'll be fighting brother versus brother, and Ivar says yup, and even Bjorn might show up just because he kind of peeked ahead in the script, and he's like, Bjorn's coming home too. He maybe is going to be there. And Bishop asks him, do any of the brothers frighten him? And he says maybe Bjorn, yeah, but he's not that smart, but he's a tough fighter. Bjorn Ironside. Then we go over to Lagatha. Ivar says she knows she's going to die. She just doesn't know how bad it's going to be. Joe, will Ivar kill Lagatha?
I hope so.
So you're
either way, I don't care who dies. I just want people to die.
Fair. Knife to the back of the motherfucking head. So so we go back to
shield bash.
As we talked about, he goes, where are we going to fight? Maybe Kattegat. And Ivar is like, maybe you can help me get a strategy. And he says, you trust me. He says he will fight because God has a plan. And Hitzak chimes in. He goes, we have this whole little discussion about free will versus, and I can't tell if Hitzak and Ivar were fucking with him, being interested in it, or the whole like free will versus determinism type shit that was going on there, whether I have to do what God has a fucking plan for me, or whether I'll do what I want to do. Hitzak has this whole thing where he goes, well, Ivar, did I come with you if I wanted to? I think they were pissing on it, but
I think it was half Ivar.
You were drinking the Kool-Aid.
Ivar, yeah, he wants to know this shit. He wants to know the bishop's thoughts. And the other one pissing on the bishop a little bit, trying to piss on the ideas a little bit. And he's not really philosophical or theological in any way. He's, whichever brother he thinks he's better off with, lets him, there's no depth to that last child. whatsoever.
Yeah, Hitzak. Yeah, I'm not. He's the one I agree with you on. I feel Ubi and Ivar, but I haven't. He has his moments here and there, but I'm not
No,
fully
he
there.
has no moments. He is completely fucking depthless. His acting is almost as bad as whoever is writing his part of the script. Like it's.
Oh no, we have a spoiler alert in the live chat. Astrid might have a famous bastard, John fucking Snow. What kind of chess were they playing? At Kattegat, they weren't playing chess, but it looked like Ivar and the Bishop were actually playing chess.
Yeah, Ivar and the Bishop were playing chess, and it looked like the others were playing some sort of version of like a Chinese checkers or Othello or something like
that. I was watching that too, but I'm pretty sure Ivar and the Bishop were playing chess.
I'm not. Yeah, I have no idea really what the other two were playing. It's definitely it was an interesting looking game, and it
was some data from Star Trek, like Stratego kind of thing going on there. So
Stratego is a good game.
Yeah, Stratego is a good game. So they talk about free will, like choice, bullshit, blah 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 blah. Is it fate or is it free will when I join your side, Ivar? Does it matter? The Bishop smiles as almost. This is why this scene could have been interpreted a couple of different ways. The Bishop smiling in there could be like I'm getting to them, or it could be that Ivar and Hitzak are kind of just playing and having fun. We talked about that a little bit, but so then we go to Astrid throwing up, and as we all know, the two big signs of television: if we see any character throw up, they're pregnant.
Female character
throw up, they're pregnant. If we see anyone cough, they're gonna die. So
yeah, they got TB. Blood will be coming out soon later.
Exactly. One cough, they'll be coughing blood by the end of the show or the movie that you're watching. And if someone throws up, they're automatically pregnant.
Yeah.
Rules of television, rule 1 and rule 2, right there. Ding.
I am in on those rules, Phil. I agree with them completely.
We need to do an audiobook that's Joe and Phil's rules to television. I'm saying that right now, just in case we're gonna start working on that. The
132 rules of television.
1 second, Joe. I'm gonna fucking write this shit down so I don't forget it. Rules to television. So
how many rules of acquisition are there? Are we going to match the number of acquisition rules?
Rules of television 1 and 2: cough, and throw up. So, anyways, so the rabbit guys. Hey Phil, Joe just tuned in. Haven't even watched the episode, but checking in. Uncle D, great to see you in the live motherfucking chat. Hey. Ivar won the game. Connect 4. They're playing Connect 4. So Astrid throwing up, so we all know she's pregnant. The king says, "Listen, I've seen that you're throwing up all over the place. You're not eating your noshes. You're not eating your gefilte fish. What's going on here in Bizarro Kattegat?"
And by the way, I see the rabbit always dies in those tests.
Always.
In the pregnancy tests that used rabbits, the rabbit always died.
And he says, "Listen, what's up?" And she goes, "I'm with child." And Fine Hair is almost cute as his kidnapping marrying ways. I'm so happy his choice of words here are amazing, Joe. "I'm so happy you chose me." He says, you chose me. You choose me to be my husband, to be my wife, and to make me the happiest man ever.
Oh, right. She's pregnant. Whose kid is it?
I don't know. The kid's gonna be Freddy Krueger, the bastard son of 100 maniacs or some shit.
100 shipmates. And that whole thing didn't make any sense to me. Oh, all I have to do is go tell my husband that you all just gang raped me down by the fucking wharf. He's not gonna believe your fucking stories of like I'm trying to sell him out.
And even if they did in that sense,
we're all dead then.
Yeah, and what? I kidnapped you over there and you're trying to warn Lagatha. I almost expected you would do that.
Right. And here's the thing. Either I go tell you rape me right now and I tell my husband and you tell him that and we all die, or he doesn't believe you and you all die and I still live and I'm still queen. Like it almost made no sense whatsoever.
And we got everyone in the live chat. Santovia. Well, okay, I guess I'm not. Wow, you're always wanted, Santovia Major. Lots of love to you. Astrid had child of 5 fathers. I thought King Harold was the guy from the sagas, but it could be the baby. Great to see everyone in the live motherfucking chat. Danny DeVito? Well, where's Danny DeVito? Is Danny DeVito on this show? Holy gosh. So I'm so happy for you. Choose me. I feel it's just it's such a fucked up situation in this. And Fine Hair, like, just the acting performance again, he's making himself likable to me this season in a way he wasn't in other seasons. I don't know what it is about his performance that's tweaked for me, but there's something about what he's doing, and I actually really like Astrid as well this season. I'm enjoying the intensity of her and his storyline, and
they made you feel for him a little bit. It's tough not to feel for a character who you watch get raped on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He was captured, he was raped, his brother left him. You know, some pretty heavy shit. I'm sorry, no straight face there.
So we go over to Floki land, and they're hanging out by the hot tub. And Floki asks the gods to show themselves. Like, these people need a sign. And we see two folks doing it, and she's watching, and she's suddenly with new child, and it's the first new child of the new world. More kissing. So Ivar in the bishop's chest, play chess as King Fine Hair's all happy and dancing around. He's going to be a father. Yippity dippity doo da, yippity dippity day. And the bishop says, let's play more chess. And Ivar and him kind of look back and forth about, we don't give a shit that Fine Hair's having a kid. So we go over to the Parents Club whorehouse, and Bjorn says, I want to marry your daughter. And he says she's worth far more than you think. And he says, well, I'll pay, more than I can ever afford. And so he goes, if my daughter wants you, she can have you. And the daughter, already knowing what we find out in a minute here, that she has already told her dad that the moment she saw him, that I'm going to marry this guy. And she goes outside and grabs him and runs over to a different tent and is all, kind of ready for him to come in here. He comes in and they get ready to do stuff, and she hands him one of these two bags from the roof and hands it to him and ties Bjorn up, spins him around, slaps him, throws up, starts talking about strange customs in the north. We castrate reindeers, but we don't cut their balls from their sack, and then the women chew on the balls inside the sack. And she says, that's how we get married. But I told my dad I would not chew your balls, but you're going to have to work hard and be Sting in the bed and do some tantric shit and last for hours, motherfucker. And then they do it.
Yeah.
Chewed balls. Fucking love that.
Bjorn's into some fucking freaky shit. He's like, I've wanted one of these tribe bitches since I heard about them. You know what? They like to chew on balls, yo. You ever seen that other freaky bitch I got down in the Mediterranean?
This is nothing new for me. Yeah, you should have got that stuff. Tim F. Great to see Tim F. I see Fury. Vikings goes 50 Shades. Arnold and Danny DeVito twins. Oh, fuck. Chewed balls. So I probably should, instead of Bjorn comes home, I should probably subtitle this episode podcast Chewed Balls. But yes, it is Chewed Balls. And a good point by K Rich's good point, Joe. That's Joe's favorite words in the entire podcasting world. And Floki is happy. Everyone is working his dream where everyone's equal, everyone contributes, and if you're sick, we'll look after you, and we'll parcel out land, and it's gonna be really great. No, we won't have to use axes to solve problems. It's gonna be a really awesome place, dude, and we're gonna fucking hang out and all smoke a fucking giant pipe and take mushrooms. It's gonna be a fucking amazing place. It's gonna be like the first half of the beach, not the second half, like the first half of the beach, dude. And this one guy is like,
well, the middle part.
Yeah, the middle section of the beach,
because Daffy, there's some pretty heavy Daffy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're right. The middle section of the beach. And one dude's like, I don't believe you, man. You want to rule us all. And I almost wanted to have the sound cue ready. Like, if I had done a short video, I would have put the sound cue right in here as the guy goes, you want to be the king. And then you sub in Ragnar's voice, who wants to be king? But Floki's like, no, I don't want to be the king. I can't lead anybody. You think a guy like me has
you'll let us all hear, asshole.
No. So we go over to Ivar's team, looking at all the ships rolling in, and Fine Hair says it's beautiful. It's kind of a weird scene that I don't necessarily know why it happened. It was almost almost like a trailer shot where we just see them all sitting in the boats and we just see them watch it. We've got more men coming in.
Yeah, we needed to know that the reinforcements got there.
Right. Fair. So then we go off to a surprising, and Joe hinted at this earlier, a surprisingly interesting part of this episode that I wasn't expecting. I honestly wasn't expecting to see this character again, at least till the back half of the season. So it's very cool that we got a Alfred thing in this episode.
Yes.
And the actor, I wasn't sure about him at first. I like how he was introduced, and I enjoyed all of his scenes and watching him kind of go through this, going on a hunt to learn more about Athelstan and the rumors. And I like hearing from the other monks' perspectives, the rumors of the pagan situation, and not knowing who Athelstan is by name, but saying, "Oh yeah, but there's rumors that a pagan joined up, or that a monk joined with the pagans and came back and fought against us," and yet like he's talking about Athelstan and then saying eventually he was crucified and all this stuff. And Alfred has a interesting scene with there, and I love how Alfred just has good balls on this kid. He pulls out this cross, like, yeah, I got this cross from fucking Ragnar Lothbrok. Anyone? Ragnar fucking
He is the devil himself.
Yeah, fuck you. I don't care. Fuck all of you. You know who my dad is, motherfucker? Do it. So
who my 3 dads were?
Yeah, who my 3 dads were?
4 dads.
Yeah, you know,
3 dads. 3 dads and my uncle Raggy.
Yeah, as Duke Chronic says. Wait, let me find that. Let me find it. Wait, before I say your line here, Duke Chronic, I need to find something.
Worried about my balls being chewed off?
No, that was a good one. He says, Alfred is great. Name dropping Alfred. Yeah, you beat me to it. Duke Chronic. So the rumor is the dude took up the pagan. Alfred's like, listen, guys, switch the words to now. I got some other things to tell you guys. Why don't you stop acting like hoity-toity assholes with your fucking Latin and you switch the shit up to English so the people can understand? They don't feel like you're fucking talking down to them. How about that, motherfucker? Why don't you do it? He kind of gives him a just saying. He's like, you don't have to do it, but I'm just saying, you might think about doing that.
Yeah.
So then we get some more poetry with the bishop telling the story about the Virgin Mary and Ivar asking, how could she be a mother?
That's ridiculous.
That is a fucking ridiculous story. And the bishop asked about the serpent in the sea story, and Ivar says, that's true.
You have your own miracles, don't you?
Well, that shit's true. And I didn't necessarily. This is one of those parts where I was having trouble. Just my eyes, watching, note taking situation was a little distracted here. So I don't know if Ivar was saying, well, Mary was probably just a whore that run around town, and then Switchly turns around to Ivar standing right behind him and holding a knife up to his neck in a very seductive kind of way and saying, "You don't trust me, do you?" Or he's saying, "You don't trust me."
He's rubbing it on like the side of his face. He's like doing small circles, like one finger, small circles.
If you deny the pleasure of being right or some shit, he's not killing him. Ivar does not want to be right. He wants to believe that. Oh, he wants to believe that the bishop. Now I remember. He wants to believe that the bishop is a truly pious individual, the only guy that won't lie. And what I'm hoping this all is a Ford Fairlane. That he's going to Robert Englund for the second Freddy Krueger reference of the night. He's going to Robert Englund man-to-man, mono-emote. You think I give a shit about honor? And then kill him in a really fucking or Commando when the guy said, "You said you'd kill me last. I lied," or something like that.
Yeah,
like I want this all to be.
Is killing heathens. The fuck does he care? It's all in the service of God.
Fair. I just want to see the Ivar not really be falling for any of this shit, and it seems like he might be.
What, for religion?
No, or just some of the bishop's poetic bullshit and kind of falling into trusting the bishop more than he should. I think the bishop in first opportunity would try to stick a sword in Ivar's back, and he should be careful of that kind of situation. In your words, I think it's, as much as I'm enjoying the actor's performance in the show, logically speaking, this dude should be fucking dead.
Well, you don't kill somebody else's slave, but yes, he should be dead. I see what you're saying. Yes.
He's too dangerous of an adversary. You saw him on the battlefield take out how many of your own men? And I know you want to use him as a force against your brothers. And I guess it's you use that blunt object against your brothers, but you have this overwhelming force. Do you really need him? You think he's the deciding factor in this fucking battle? And I just think he's someone you can't afford to keep alive because I don't know. That's just my perspective. If he didn't have this weird sort of crush scene, it was just a weird scene where he.
No, in fact, they should have killed him and piked his head in front of York before they left.
Yeah. Corey C says that was a weird scene. Tim F says, "Believe in me, I'm a fucking guy." Google it. Ivar is the wolf, according to Bjorn. Alf from my house of Shumway. Alf from my house of Shumway. I like that. Freddy Krueger can't jerk off. That's why he kills. You got to feel bad for the guy. And he's
only got those knives on one hand. You can use the stranger.
It's true. He's not as bad as Edward Scissorhands. I think let's not confuse Edward Scissorhands. Rule number 2 of the television. No, in movies.
Don't confuse Krueger with Scissorhands.
Yeah. All problems with knives in the hands are not equal. So the bishop turns around with this fake look in his eye, says, "Listen, Ivar, believe me." And Ivar gives him a little boy look back, and he says, "Okay." And then this is Stephanie yelling this out from she could come in here and tell you for herself. Yells out at this point, "Ooh, I'm getting hot. Are they gonna bang?" That's Stephanie's words, not mine, right there in that moment. And the bishop is turned on at the end of the shot, and can't believe how dumb Ivar is to trust him. Whatever you want to deal with. So then at the end, we're at the very end of our episode here. We get Lagertha and Bjorn seeing their numbers are growing with more and more ships. Then we see all our battle teams arguing about what to do. Ivar does the unexpected, says Bjorn. Bjorn says Ivar uses planning. So let's get to the battleground and not let him plan. Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome, right?
But if we do A, well, he usually does this, so we should do this. Unless he thinks that we know that he knows that we know what he will do, then we will do what he knows that he does. If we do what he does when we think we know what he does, we do that so he doesn't do it, and then we can do what we're going to do because he won't be doing what he does, and then he might do what he does because he'll already have thought we're going to do that. So what do we? Oh God.
Joe, I agree with you there.
What did you think?
That's the strategy planning.
That's strategy planning.
That's the strategy planning right there. Like, oh God.
So
you make them do what you want them to do. That's how you plan out this. You do something to the harbor to not allow them to attack in the harbor. You make sure that the only other place that they can land, you have like there's. How have you not already thought about how to protect Kattegat from fucking invasion? Both land invasion, which has happened once that we saw, and sea invasion, which also kind of happened once that we saw. This doesn't make any... You should already... Like, Lagertha, how long have you been just sitting in fucking Kattegat on your fucking throne, banging these fucking chicks, and not actually done any kind of defensive, like... work and stratagem? Like, you should have already built walls.
Use wildfire, Joe. Perhaps she'll blow up the sept. No, I'm sorry.
But put the harbor chain out. Start making that chain.
Make some scorpions and shit. So Halfdan and Bjorn say we have to attack the ship. We have to. Oh, and then they talk about basically this is all revolving around whether the battle should take place in Kattegat Prime or they should force the action somewhere else. Lagertha suggests that they don't fight in Kattegat, that the soldiers that they have with them are better fighting in the mountain areas or not. But then someone suggests that, I forget who said it, but then Kattegat will just be easy. It will be like in Civilization when you have no one guarding a city and you just like walk in there and take over the city. So they're kind of in a no-win situation. What do you think would be we're not going to play Miss Cleo here, but I think they're fucked anyway. If this army is as big and crazy as they think, they're not prepared for a battle like this.
That's why you got to scuttle any ships that you have. You scuttle them in that fucking harbor so that the airships can't get by. It'll be hard because those are flat-bottom boats, so they're made to go up rivers and stuff with big rocks. So, but you have to do your best to try to block that harbor in the time that you have. You have a lot of boats that you might be able to sink and block up some of the channel so that they can't come right into port. You try to you see that by looking, you can see that it's all that harbor is all surrounded by mountains. So there's got to be at least one other landing spot nearby. And they're going to probably choose the close one because that's going to be easiest for their soldiers to get to. So knowing that, you try to make that the spot that you want to fight them and come down from the mountains and have the higher ground, which also keeps them away from Kattegat.
Anakin, I have the higher ground. Sorry, Joe.
Like there's ways I mean, I don't know the entire landscape, but there is strategy that you can use, you know.
Sorry, I was getting distracted there. Take 20 good men and they can burn the invasion fleet. That's all they need.
Take me 20 good men and I'll impregnate that bitch.
Oh yeah, it'll be fucking easy. So love you guys, the live motherfucking chat. So, and thank you to everyone that might be checking this out later. Please let us know what you think about this episode, what you think about season of Vikings up to this point. So Alfred, we see Alfred more trying to find out more about Athelstan. He has, which again, I thought this was a really fucking awesome scene.
Yep.
Where you're everywhere, you're hard, and he's humbling smile, and then footsteps, and then he just talks about how you were humble, father. I'm not going to be humble. And
I'm going to be the great.
Yeah, I'm going to be the great. Let's pray together. That's all we can do. And he said something about coming in my kingdom, and you hear a voice kicking in, and yes, that is. I can't verify it from the script or whatever. I mean, from the episode notes, but it was Applesauce's voice. It was definitely Applesauce's voice.
Here's the thing: when he's talking to the other monk, when he's talking to the monk, and the way he delivers some of his lines, and the way this kid comes across, he feels much more menacing to me than Ivar. Like Ivar is like, I'm crazy, look at me, ah! And this kid comes across a lot more like
tactical.
Like, yeah, not just tactical, but like he'll have no problem cutting you from fucking dick sack to fucking throat until you fucking hail God. You know what I mean? Like, there just seems to be something very off about this kid. And pious, yes, and you know, religious fanatics are fucking scary people. And this is a pious, soft-spoken, smart kid with a chip on his shoulder that wants to be great. This is a far more dangerous character in my mind than Ivar. And it comes off that way on screen after those couple of scenes.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see, as I think he'll for sure be a focus character in this back half and into the following season. So the episode ends with all of our players getting ready for battle, and then Bjorn and Lagertha go outside. It's a full moon, and it's time for the end of our world as we know. It's the end of the
world as
we know it. And it's
time for Ragnarok as we know it.
Yes, and we did get a Ragnarok shout out in the episode as well. And that's the end of our episode of Vikings. As we're talking about it, I mean, another great episode of Vikings leading up to what I think is going to be a very exciting conclusion. I thought the beginning half of the season started off really strong and really action heavy, leading into the conclusion of the end of the Ragnar stuff, and then watching the brothers split apart for me was generally interesting. Joe, as he said many times, has some issues with some of the casting choices, maybe for the brothers, isn't feeling them. But I think whether you're feeling the brothers or feeling what's going on, even the people that might not be able to hook into the show right now without Ragnar, you can't, and I say this every week, can't argue with the progression of how good this show is and the production of it. I don't think the scripts or the dialogue is ever bad or anything like that. It's more they could be more of something, less of something, choice of focus, all that sort of stuff. Everything's a choice based with some stuff, but I think the quality of it's there, and the quality of Vikings, even without Ragnar, keeps rising up. And I think if the show wasn't as good as it was at this point, and even, I mean, that doesn't mean it's not without its errors. If it wasn't at this point right now, I wouldn't be as forgiving of it, because you do miss that force of their lead actor. And I don't want to talk about this all season, but I think even if you're not feeling it, the show, I don't ever feel like I'm saying, oh, you know what's missing on this show? Ragnar. It's not that. It's just it would be, I can't really buy Hitsuck right now. And I'm never and personally anyways, I'm never thinking about the big guy. And my problems with the show now, if I have problems, it's within the show's universe. It's not necessarily, I wish he was still around. And I think that's important to point out.
As you were saying that, I thought of something. When you said focus, I thought we haven't had any Rollo focus at all this season.
No, and it would be great to get back to our Rollo.
Why wouldn't you? My ex-husband's brother is
on another show, Joe. He's isn't he on Taken or something?
Right, but why wouldn't you? Why not like go get 100 men from your Uncle Rollo, Bjorn? Go send some emissaries to try to go get a couple hundred messenger. You know.
I've said it before. I know he's coming back in at some point, but I think from what I've read about it, his time and his availability to work on the show because of Taken was severely limited, so they had to not include him in the show as much as they wanted to.
Is that like TV show Taken from Taken, yes. The movies Taken?
I believe that's what the show he's on.
Oh, God, the second movie, the third movie. Why did you make more than just one? Stupid. My mob's brother boss of bosses is after me now. And my brother's boss of bosses. Oh, come on.
You're fucking with the wrong guy. So, and let's go to the live chat. Bring back Magnus. People are wanting Magnus back in the storyline.
Wait, who's Magnus?
Magnus is Crazy Pants' son. Crazy Pants and Ragnar's kid.
Oh, right.
Ragnar said...
He just rode off in like a donkey cart.
Yeah, or something like that. He's alive somewhere, and I've heard he's possibly coming back this season, so we might see Magnus. Corey C in the live chat. Great to see you. Hannibal, I see Fury. Thank you, Tim F. K. Rich, Duke Chronic, Tim F. Who else was in the live chat tonight? Lots of good friends popping on in here. Santovia Major, Uncle D. Thank you to everyone that popped in to say hi tonight. Really do appreciate it, and thank you so much. And if you haven't already, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Share what you thought of this episode of Vikings. Joe, any final thoughts on this week's episode?
Yeah, it was good to be back, basically.
Yeah, it is. We may be
working like a dog, so it sucks. But
yeah, it's been tough to get Joe on, but we might have Joe tomorrow afternoon for a special podcast at some point. If not, I'm going to record with Joe tomorrow afternoon, and you'll have his voice on a later in the weekend podcast. And not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, we'll have Joe on for another What Did Joe Think episode for a couple of other random shit. Or Joe and I will be on the following Sunday to talk about some bullshit. And before we know it, Joe, speaking of bullshit, The Walking Dead will be back.
Awesome. I can't wait. I love that.
And
show.
Better Call Saul's coming very soon.
That is what I am waiting for. That is what I am waiting for.
I'm very fucking... Holy fucking shit. We got Devin in the live motherfucking chat. Lots of love to fucking Devin. Lots of side fucking butthole.
Hey.
Love to fucking Devin in the live.
I haven't seen Atheism is Unstoppable in a while. How you doing, my man?
Great to see you, buddy. Happy fucking New Year. But everybody... have a fucking good night. We got to go prepare for the fucking blizzard. The fucking blizzard.
The blizzard of 18.
Yeah, it's going to be fucking fun. Maybe I'll try to do some live streaming hike out in the blizzard at some point.
I heard something funny. I don't know who it was. Somebody on YouTube or something. But it's been so fucking cold the last week. You can fucking rob somebody with a bucket of water.
It freezes mid and just knocks into the fucking ass.
Like, give me your wallet or I'll throw this fucking water all over you.
Motherfucker. Fucking all. But awesome, dude. Oh, fuck. Oh, awesome. You moved down to fucking Australia. That's fucking amazing, dude.
That's what, yeah.
Love that fucking. Stayed away from all this fucking crazy fucking snow and shit.
Yeah.
But awesome to see you.
I want to move to Australia.
Dude, it would be amazing. It would be fucking amazing.
Yeah. Oh.
Whoa! Now we gotta stay on.
Okay. Hold on.
I gotta spin the wheel for them, Joe. We can't go quite yet. I gotta spin.
I was gonna just go grab booze.
Okay. Yeah. Take a
for that.
Yeah. Joe needs to take a shot for that.
I don't need to. Let's see what the wheel gives us.
No, Joe wants to take a shot. Both take shots. Holy shit.
No, really? I can't see.
Sure, it is.
Open fun. Drain
no,
flies.
It actually said drum fun, but
drum fun. Yeah.
No, that's
Play us out, Phil.
Joe take a
Play us out, Tito.
play out, drummer. Do your fucking drumming. Hey, I don't want to drum. Who wants to drum? No one wants to hear that shit. Joe drinks tequila.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Joe, you need to do a shot. Like, no one wants to hear my shit. I can't play a proper drum funk because it's fucking midnight on a fucking weeknight. I can't fucking do that shit. Play some fucking loud drums. This bucket is loaded. But thank you so much for the super chat donation. You fucking are amazing. As Joe's gonna do one fucking shot. I only have
Katie is too.
Robitussin and Guinness. Those things go great together.
Robitussin and tequila.
Or Robitussin and Guinness that's some next level robo tripping, Hannibal. Holy shit. But yes, we may be on tomorrow afternoon as Joe. Thank you so much for this super chat donation. He's gonna drink some fucking tequila for everybody. And thank you so much. Oh, you fuck.
I know I'm a baby, Phil. I always had, but I didn't take a single shot of liquor for what, 12 years?
Oh, fuck.
At least 12 years.
Oh, gross.
No, like straight tequila, vodka, whiskey.
No,
nothing.
no. It used to be like there was a point in time where if Joe drank any shottable liquor, it would be immediate projectile vomiting. There was a New Year's Eve where you took, I don't know how much you drank, but it was a couple of shots in a row, bam, 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 and you ended up, was it 9, did you say?
A pint.
A pint. Holy, you drink a fucking pint. And next thing you know, you're in my backyard throwing up and curling up into a ball in my basement for most of the New Year's Eve.
Remember the liter of vodka I drank in the park?
Yes, I do remember that. That was a fucked up.
That was the last night. That was the actual last night.
You ended up or was that? No, we got screamed at by someone else that night.
No, I like tackled Ilya. That was the night of the two girls that wanted to have a kissing contest at the Willow Tree.
Yes. And we ended up getting bitched out by one of them because you wanted, or no, I wouldn't participate.
And I didn't want to participate either, but I got jumped.
You totally participated.
I got jumped.
I pussied out. I was like, I don't want to participate. And the person that was your partner in said situation
begged me.
Got very angry that I said no and started yelling at me specifically and screaming and yelling at you as well. But it was more focused anger on me, and I ended up following them to the basketball court in a screaming match back and forth because I would not do such. I would not do that. The fun times, Joe.
Yeah.
Fun fucking times. King McKay in the live motherfucking chat. Joe's gonna be sick all night. Sorry. No. We encourage people to do those super chat donations, and Joe's sick. It really fucking helps the situation out. King McKay, make sure you check out King McKay on YouTube. Also amazing Viking coverage. Does promo reactions to the promos for every week, and also does episode reactions as well. So make sure you check out King McKay, who is going to be joining us after the Viking season is over with to talk about the whole season at some point. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
And yes, Joe is drinking tequila, but okay, I'm gonna let tequila in a fucking skull, Joe. Well, I'm gonna let you go, and hopefully I'll talk to you tomorrow afternoon again, Joe. So let's play.
Yes, indeed.
Let's play some fucking music.
Play us out, Phil.
Play us out, Skitch.
Oh, loser lost. I'm off and brought to the post edge back at the top. See you there when the bruises play.